Do you like boy bands, boy wizards, frosted tips? Well, there's a good chance you grew up in the 2000s. Take it from me, it was an exciting time. And that's why on this edition of MsMojo's Deep Dive, we're going to be taking a look back at the turn of the millennium. And like any decade, the 2000s also had their fair share of memorable pop culture offerings. And we're starting with a look at some of the best big screen hits of the time. So, check out these movies.
Well, I'm sorry! I'm sorry!
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 movies of the 2000s.
Because last time I looked at the dictionary, my name's Ron Burgundy. What's your name?
Brian Fantana.
Champ Kind.
Brian Fantana.
No, you're Brick. I'm Brian.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most critically acclaimed and entertaining films from the aughts that still hold up. We're excluding animated movies because they all deserve a list of their own. Which 2000s movies are part of your fondest memories? Number 20, Zodiac. Taking place across decades, Zodiac is about the search for the titular killer, whose identity is shrouded in mystery. The psychological thriller establishes the criminal's streak of madness as he claims innocent lives and stirs up interest in who he is.
You know, if he comes any closer, I might be able to get that gun.
Shh. Don't get any ideas.
I'm not.
I killed a guard escaping from prison in Montana.
I'm not doing anything, okay?
I'm not afraid to kill again.
Starring Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., and Mark Ruffalo, each protagonist quickly finds themselves engrossed in the investigation. The film's pacing is kept deliberately slow to create a sense of paranoia among viewers, as the characters lose themselves in the hunt.
Do you think you saw the film in our theater and was inspired?
Are you sure there's nobody else in the house?
Although its open-ended nature can be confusing, Zodiac is a nuanced work that gives us plenty to think about. Number 19, Almost Famous, a coming-of-age story. A coming-of-age story. This film is more about the characters' traits and personalities than the plot itself. It follows teenage journalist William's tour with an up-and-coming band, whom he grows too attached to.
Looking on, she sings her songs, the words she knows, the tune she hums.
Although things do get heavy as different problems come to light, the movie is largely heartwarming in the way it calls back to the rock mentality of the 70s, with a particular focus on its music-based backdrop. There are plenty of moments that give us a taste of the exciting rock star life cycle. Of course, William's experience teaches him that there's more to life than the supposed glory of fame.
You guys are always talking about the fans, the fans, the fans. She was your biggest fan, and you threw her away. And if you can't see that, that's your biggest problem.
But from the fun times to the tough times, this film is sure to keep you entertained. Number 18, Casino Royale. Daniel Craig's debut as James Bond ushered in a new era for the franchise. Presenting a younger Bond who's a lot rougher around the edges, Casino Royale shows the agent in a gritty and more complex backdrop. Focusing on Bond's mission to bankrupt evil financier Le Chiffre, it also depicts the protagonist truly falling for his partner, Vesper Lynd.
You're right.
I can't resist waking you. Every time I do, you look at me as if you haven't seen me in years. It makes me feel reborn.
A departure from the relatively flashy style of the series, Casino Royale is devoted to humanizing Bond by focusing on his vulnerability and tendency to make mistakes. The inclusion of practical effects make the action feel authentic, and there's enough classic James Bond charm to delight longtime fans as well.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Number 17, Mean Girls. We've all heard of or experienced the pains of high school drama and clique mentality, but Mean Girls takes it up several notches.
Girls who don't need anything, desperate wannabes, burnouts, sexually active band geeks, the greatest people you will ever meet, and the worst.
Here, teenager Katie is a fish out of water who's unaccustomed to American schooling and must find her place in Girl World. Among the most quotable movies to be released in recent memory, it acknowledges teen slang in humorous ways while sticking to its premise.
And he's with Taylor Waddell. I heard they're going out.
Wait, Jason's not going out with Taylor. No, he cannot blow you off like that.
He's such a little skis. Give me your phone.
It also contains characters that allude to the stereotypical personalities found in high school, but ultimately gives them more depth than you'd expect. Although there's a lot of laughs to be had, Mean Girls successfully depicts the pitfalls of such a class-based environment. In doing so, it shows viewers that there's always another way.
I had gone from homeschool jungle freak to shiny plastic to most hated person in the world to actual human being.
Hey.
All the drama from last year just wasn't important anymore.
Number 16, Pan's Labyrinth. Essentially a dark take on the classic fairy tales we know, this story is about young Ophelia who's swept into a labyrinth by a mysterious being. Soon, she learns that she's the reincarnation of Princess Moana, the person intended to one day rule the underworld.
Vuestro más humilde súbdito, Alteza.
No,
Vos sois la princesa Moana, hija del rey de Bezmorra, el reino subterráneo.
It's more of a cinematic experience than a straight-up fantasy, as writer, director, and co-producer Guillermo del Toro constructed an entire realm full of surprises. There's a combination of drama and horror, with Ophelia facing terrifying challenges while completing the trials that will grant her immortality. Plus, the special effects enable Pan's Labyrinth to appear as close to reality as possible.
Y habéis elegido bien, Alteza.
Venid a mi lado y sentaos junto a vuestro padre, que tan largo tiempo os ha esperado.
Considering the dark creatures that live in the film's domain, this makes for a unique viewing experience. Number 15, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Jim Carrey traded in his funny man persona for this one. He plays Joel, a man who decides to purge himself of the memories of his ex Clementine, who's done the same thing. As he revisits the times they shared before they're erased forever, he falls in love with her all over again.
Yes, I really like that you're nice right now. I mean, I can't tell from one moment to the next what I'm gonna like, but right now, I'm glad you are.
A creative take on the sci-fi genre, the story uses a blend of comedy and drama to portray how far a person can go to avoid facing a painful heartbreak. Although the main appeal is the dynamic between Joel and Clementine, the supporting characters are given compelling subplots that tie everything together. In the end, Eternal Sunshine presents the possibility that a maybe ever after might just be enough to go on.
But you
Right
will.
now, I can't.
But you will. You know, you will think of things, and I'll get bored with you and feel trapped because that's what happens with me.
Number 14, Gladiator. Vengeance is always sweet. Vengeance is always sweet. But even more so within a sprawling story that's designed to bring a note of catharsis. The film follows former Roman general Maximus, who becomes a gladiator to avenge the death of his family at the hands of the tyrannical Commodus.
Loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance.
Gladiator is largely credited with reigniting interest in films about ancient civilizations, carrying a hard-hitting aesthetic even if it isn't historically accurate. The acting might just be the strongest aspect of the film, with Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix really making us feel the resentment between their characters.
You would fight me? Why not? Do you think I'm afraid?
I think you've been afraid all your life.
Along with the fantastic cinematography on display during the fights, the desire to see Maximus achieve his revenge never fails to suck viewers in. Number 13, Avatar.
You were talking like a tick. Is the Avatar safe?
Yeah, Doc. And you are not gonna believe where I am.
There's arguably never been a movie as visually dazzling as Avatar. It breathes life into its 3D effects, making Pandora appear like a world that's beyond anything we could have imagined. The story is about Jake Sully, who enters into an avatar of Pandora's Na'vi people to gain their trust while working to mine the area's resources. But his love for indigenous inhabitant Neytiri puts him on the path to siding with the Na'vi as they look to protect their homeland from humans.
And we will show the Sky people that they cannot take whatever they want. And that this is our land.
Avatar's landmark achievements in cinematography and design propelled it to become one of the most financially successful films of all time. Years later, its effects not only hold up, but remain a cut above the rest. Number 12, The Hurt Locker. While there's no shortage of war films out there, The Hurt Locker is one that dives into the psychological ramifications of being in such an environment. It depicts the struggles of American soldiers in Iraq who must contend with the difficult realities of battle.
I'm looking for the people responsible for Beckham.
Along with featuring captivating dialogue, The Hurt Locker throws viewers into the heart of the action by showing them the soldiers' point of view. Between watching them fight to stay alive and try to move on, you're sure to be on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Move him back! Keep that translator back! But the bomb was forced on him! Get him back! Don't move! Stay still!
While it definitely carries a somber atmosphere, the film is a chilling reminder that these things really do happen and deserve to be talked about. Number 11, Brokeback Mountain. This tragic Western drama spans decades, telling a complex love story whose themes are still relevant today. It deals with two men, Ennis and Jack, who fall in love but are unable to be together because of the societal taboos surrounding LGBTQ+ relationships.
But you didn't want it, Ennis! So what we got now is Brokeback Mountain!
We watch as they live the lives they think they're supposed to while contending with their unmatched connection and its never-ending impact. We'd be remiss not to mention the stellar performances by Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal, who make us believe in the forbidden love between their characters.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Then why don't you just let me be, huh?
Through the men's relationship, Brokeback Mountain challenges traditional ideas of romance and family, and spotlights just how damaging prejudice can be. Number 10, Iron Man. Avengers Endgame arguably gave us the biggest payoff to long-term storytelling, and it's all thanks to Iron Man. The superhero's debut movie is also the MCU's first official entry. It features Tony Stark on his journey toward taking up the mantle of Iron Man, and the responsibility that comes with it.
I came to realize that I have more to offer this world than just making things that blow up. And that is why, effective immediately, I am shutting down the weapons manufacturer division of Stark International.
Robert Downey Jr. turned the character into a pop culture icon with his suave and charismatic performance. As such, Iron Man is credited with injecting much-needed comedy in the superhero genre without compromising on the explosive action. We'll never tire of the way the movie infuses Stark's path to becoming a hero with a sense of fun.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Watching him suit up is just as satisfying now as it was back then. Number 9, The Departed. The film that finally won Martin Scorsese his Best Director Oscar. The Departed is a crime thriller that captures your attention and never lets go. The cat and mouse premise follows two diametrically opposed men who go undercover, one within the mob and the other within the police.
You're not gonna see him, you're not gonna hear about him, except through me or Captain Queenan. You will not ever know the identity of undercover people.
Billy Costigan serves as the Massachusetts State Police's informant, while Colin Sullivan fulfills the same role for Frank Costello's gang. Filled with twists and turns, the plot increases in tension as both sides attempt to cover up their involvement before their identities are exposed.
Costello trusted me more than anyone. Sound quality good enough? Because I was a little worried.
What do you want?
I told you I want my identity back.
The story doesn't hold back, dealing with themes of morality, corruption, and justice in a thrilling yet realistic fashion. Number 8, City of God. Filled with shocking moments, this 2002 picture lays bare the horrifying plight of people in Rio de Janeiro's City of God.
Por causa das enchentes e de alguns incêndios criminosos em algumas favelas. A rapaziada do governo não brincava. Não tem onde morar? Manda pra Cidade de Deus.
The story, told in part through flashback, focuses on the abundance of organized crime and the ways in which gang warfare regularly ruins lives. It follows budding photographer Rocket as he looks for, and struggles to find, a better life. There's no doubt the content will be disturbing for many, but it's also a thought-provoking tale of what people are forced to do to survive.
Pra mim agora tu arrumou emprego, né? Emprego não, estágio. Pô, estágio, mas tá ganhando dinheirinho, né, pô? Dinheirinho, merreca, mas pô.
At its core, the film depicts how carnage can be without meaning, and it makes a pretty compelling case. Number 7, Children of Men. When humans are unable to have babies for years on end, their existence is threatened, with society falling into a global depression as a result. Protagonist Theo Farron is tasked with transporting refugee Key, the only pregnant woman in the world, to a sanctuary.
Frolie.
Need my baby Frolie.
It's the first baby in 18 years.
The movie carries a healthy mix of chase scenes, grand set designs, and a fast-paced style that matches its tone. Director Alfonso Cuarón ups the ante even more through single-shot sequences that make audiences feel all the calamity. Children of Men is everything from an action thriller to a dark dystopian drama that looks into human behavior during times of mass panic. Still, there's a sense of hope that mankind will survive, making the film a must-watch. Number 6, No Country for Old Men. The Coen brothers have a reputation for stellar films, and this is one of their best.
I always figured when I got older, God would sort of come into my life somehow. He didn't.
No Country for Old Men is about 3 characters whose connected stories serve as the story's framing device. Assassin Anton Chigurh pursues Llewellyn Moss, who's found a lot of cash that doesn't belong to him. Meanwhile, Sheriff Ed Tom Bell investigates the case. Violence is a central motif in the movie, yet it never feels gratuitous, instead providing a commentary on the world it creates. And the gray morality of the characters is such that their motivations can be understood, at least to an extent.
You know what date is on this coin?
No?
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails.
By the end, we're left contemplating if money can drive men to shed their principles, and whether they have a say in the matter. Number 5, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Set in 19th century China, this film is part of the wuxia genre, presenting a martial arts-based story that has the characters traverse the land. Its plot kicks in when protagonist Li Mubai's fabled sword is stolen, leading to a chase to recover the weapon. The fight scenes are so spectacular that they act as standalone art pieces. Yet the tale goes beyond that, incorporating love as a central theme through Mubai's feelings for Yu Shu Lian.
却带给我们更多的烦恼。
压抑只会让感情更强烈。
我也阻止不了我的欲望。我想跟你在一起。
What's more, the female characters are notably each one given a significant arc and part in the action.
在江湖上走来走去的，是不是很好玩？
走江湖靠的是人熟，讲信讲义，应下来的就要做到，不讲信义可就玩不长了。
It's easy to understand why Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sparked major interest in the wuxia genre, though Ang Lee's distinct direction is hard to replicate. Number 4, Inglourious Basterds. Quentin Tarantino proved his filmmaking technique works in any genre with Kill Bill, so of course it also translates into this war film set in an alternate history. Inglourious Basterds depicts 2 distinct plans to eliminate Hitler, and takes us on a journey that leads to their simultaneous culmination.
Just take that finger of yours and point out on this here map where this party's being held. How many's it coming, and what they brought to play with.
The film's dark sense of humor somehow manages to fit perfectly into the war-based backdrop, thanks largely to the quirky band of characters on display. The sadistic personalities involved mean that everyone's out for blood in gruesome and creative ways.
Hey, Werner, I'm gonna ask you one last goddamn time. If you still respectfully refuse, I'm calling the Bear Jew over. He's gonna take that big bat of his, and he's gonna beat your ass to death with it.
Between the grim violence and questions of morality, it's no wonder the movie is beloved to this day. Number 3, The Dark Knight. Director Christopher Nolan skillfully played with larger-than-life themes earlier in his career with Memento. But this movie is on another level, presenting an epic battle between true evil and incorruptibility. The villainous Joker, portrayed masterfully by the late Heath Ledger, wreaks havoc on Gotham City, testing Batman's grit and resolve in the process.
See, madness, as you know, is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
There's something memorable in just about every scene, as the Joker seeks to create a state of permanent chaos. The movie immortalizes Batman as the symbol that Gotham needs to fight corruption, while also carving out Two-Face's tragic origin story.
We decided to act. We 3. Then why was it me who was the only one who lost everything? It wasn't. The Joker chose me!
The Dark Knight set the gold standard for superhero films, encouraging the genre to embrace thematic qualities that go beyond the usual formula. Number 2, There Will Be Blood. A masterclass of studying a character to their core. This film follows Daniel Plainview across decades as he goes to extreme lengths to gain wealth and influence. He essentially sells his soul, even using his adopted son as a pawn to perfect his image.
Say it louder. Say it louder.
I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my child! I've abandoned my boy!
Beg for the blood!
There Will Be Blood portrays ruthlessness building to its peak with each evil act, as Daniel resorts to lying, harming, and even killing. Although it seems bleak, the movie proves that living purely for personal gain can never bring true happiness, as the main character never finds fulfillment. This gripping epic has a lot to say, and it's all worth hearing. Plus, we won't soon forget Daniel Day-Lewis's amazing performance.
And starts to drink your milkshake. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Number 1, The Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. It's unlikely a fantasy film will ever again have as big an impact on cinematic culture as the Lord of the Rings trilogy did. Winner of numerous Oscars, The Return of the King wraps things up by depicting the final stand against Sauron and the destruction of the One Ring. There's no question that the film's visuals are incredibly appealing, as they perfectly depict the incredible war taking place. But there's also a deeply emotional and important story of brotherhood to be found. With thoroughly moving music and a tear-jerking finale, this farewell to the Middle-earth saga gives fans everything they could ask for and more.
My friends.
You bow to no one.
You ever listen to an older song on the radio and think to yourself, I forgot how good this song was? Well, what if I told you that the 2000s are full of amazing songs that you forgot were awesome? Yeah, well, don't take my word for it. Watch this.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 2000 songs you forgot were awesome. For this list, we're looking at the best songs that came out between 2000 and 2009 that deserve to be appreciated once more. Which 2000 song do you think needs to be remembered forever? Number 20, Wherever You Will Go, The Calling. When we daydream about someone writing a song for us, we usually imagine something like this.
So lately, been wandering.
Los Angeles post-grunge group The Calling touched our hearts in 2001 with their massive hit Wherever You Will Go. A moving anthem about undying devotion to another person, this song speaks to us now just as much as it did when we first heard it. It's anchored by the resonant and riveting vocals from frontman Alex Band, and we cannot forget that monumental chorus. The Calling ran away with our heart with this song, and we let them keep it. Number 19, Lonely, Akon. Loneliness can make you feel, well, alone. But there will always be people who understand, like Akon. On Lonely, the R&B singer sings passionately about missing his ex after a breakup and wanting her back.
Woke up in the middle of the night and I noticed my girl wasn't by my side.
Over a sample of Bobby Vinton's Mr. Lonely, Akon sounds like he's figuring out his new reality and learning to better appreciate his loved ones.
So lonely, Mr. Lonely. I have nobody to call my own.
While it might be sadder than other hits, the song's smooth production, relatable message, and heartfelt vocal performance make it a timeless classic. We feel a little less lonely whenever we hear this song.
So lonely, Mr. Lonely, so lonely.
Number 18, Everywhere, Michelle Branch. In the early 2000s, this pop rock hit was literally everywhere, and we were completely fine with that.
Turn it inside out so I can see the part of you that's drifting over me.
Singer-songwriter Michelle Branch was only 15 years old when she started writing this track, but it's a mature number for anyone who's ever been infatuated. And speaking of infatuation, we were quick to fall in love with this song and Branch's fiery performance, particularly during the chorus.
'Cause you're everywhere to me.
Everywhere still makes us want to pick up a guitar to strum with all our might and sing to someone who's always on our mind. When it comes to great songs from the 2000s, this song is everything. Number 17, Shake It, Metro Station. Before Taylor Swift was telling us to shake it off, Metro Station was simply telling us to shake it. On this synth-rich pop-punk song, vocalist Mason Musso sings about seeing someone on the dance floor and falling head over heels at first sight.
I'll take you home if you don't leave me at the front door.
While there aren't any bleep-worthy words in the lyrics, it's still a pretty suggestive song if you're paying attention. It's also an unstoppably catchy one, with a chorus that will get you moving even if your emo phase ended years ago.
Come on, shake, 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 yeah. Shake, 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 yeah. Shake, 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 yeah.
We can't shake our love for this song, and we doubt we ever will.
Now she does it like this, will you do it like that? Now she touches like this, will you touch it like that? Now she moves like this, will you move it like that? Come on.
Number 16, Man-Eater, Nelly Furtado. While time travel has yet to be invented, music has a way of taking us back, even letting us experience eras we didn't live through. A perfect example is this song from Canadian singer Nelly Furtado.
Everybody look at me. I walk in the door, you start screaming.
Co-produced by Timbaland. Duh. Man-Eater is a 2000s banger that also sounds like it could have been made in the 80s. With Timbaland's signature booming production and Furtado's confident vocals, this song proves that sometimes bigger really is better. Inspired by classic 80s artists like Madonna, The Eurythmics, and Blondie, Man-Eater starts at 100 and keeps going. It wasn't as big as Promiscuous, but we still ate it up. Number 15, Holler, Spice Girls. While the Spice Girls are mainly associated with the 1990s, they still managed to give us at least one great song in the 2000s before going on hiatus. Holler, off of their third album Forever, is both an awesome song as well as a demonstration of the group growing their sound. Moving from their bubbly beginnings into more seductive R&B vibes, the girls showed their talents could not be confined to one style. And assistance from famed producer Darkchild went a long way as well. While the presence of Jerry Halliwell, aka Ginger Spice, is missed, Holler still makes us scream in appreciation for this amazing group. Number 14, Gotta Get Through This, Daniel Bedingfield. Did you think that you need access to a fancy studio to write a hit song? Try telling that to Daniel Bedingfield. The singer-songwriter lit up the charts with his debut single about trying to make it through a tough situation. And he reportedly recorded it with just his computer and a microphone. A UK garage song, Gotta Get Through This has a stuttering beat, smooth synth chords, and teased-out vocals from Bedingfield. It's one of those songs that sounds like nothing you've ever heard before, but it somehow feels familiar and comforting. And before you ask, yes, he is Natasha Bedingfield's brother. Number 13, Pieces of Me, Ashlee Simpson. Speaking of famous siblings, there was a moment when it looked like Ashlee Simpson might get even bigger than older sister Jessica.
On a Monday, I am waiting. Tuesday, I am fading.
This was based on the strength of her debut single, Pieces of Me, which reached number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. A song about feeling love and trust for another, Pieces of Me showed us the many pieces of Simpson.
Seems like I can
From the chilled-out acoustic guitar at the beginning to the intense chorus, this song makes us wish we were falling in love for the first time. On a Monday, on a Tuesday, basically any day of the week is perfect for this song. Number 12, Unwell, Matchbox 20. Was Rob Thomas doing okay in the 2000s? Considering how he was singing about not wanting to be lonely no more and feeling unwell, we're not sure. But we do know that he could write one catchy and touching song.
All day, staring at the ceiling.
On his band Matchbox 20's Unwell, Thomas sings about not feeling quite right. It's a song for anyone going through a tough time. But who knows that a better day is on the horizon.
But I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell.
With its unique range of instruments and Thomas's impassioned vocal performance, this song's important message carries even more weight. Unwell reminds us of a very important truth. Things might never be perfect, but they can always get better.
How I used to be.
Number 11, Hero Heroine, Boys Like Girls. If something doesn't make a splash the first time around, it can be worth trying again later.
It's too late, baby, there's no turning around. I got my hands in my pocket and my head in the cloud.
That's what Boys Like Girls did with this song. It was originally released as the pop-punk band's debut single, but after their second single, The Great Escape, made waves, they reportedly decided to re-release it.
And I feel like a hero.
It's hard to miss the metaphor of the song's title, which talks about someone's love in addictive terms. But we don't listen to songs like this for subtlety. We listen to them to soak up the youthful energy they give us. And Hero Heroine scratches all of our pop-punk itches, one wailing chorus at a time. Number 10, Let It Rock, Kevin Rudolph featuring Lil Wayne. Did you think that Let It Rock was nothing more than just a really good party song?
I see your dirty face hide behind your collar. What is done in vain?
It's okay, we did too. It has a driving electronic beat and a Lil Wayne feature after all. But the message is closer to church than it is to the club. In this single, Kevin Rudolph sings about all the hypocrisy he felt he was seeing and how he wants to remedy it.
I must now remind you, let it rock, let it rock, let it rock.
Alluding to the Bible, particularly the story of the prodigal son, Kevin Rudolph basically made a faith-based song disguised as a party anthem. What's more, he scored a feature from one of the top rappers of all time and got a top 5 hit out of it. Now that rocks.
But I can't and I won't live a lie. No, not this time.
Number 9, These Words, Natasha Bedingfield. What can we say? The Bedingfields are a talented family.
These words are my own.
A single from her first studio album, Unwritten, These Words has Natasha Bedingfield sounding lovely as she says she loves us. Blending pop with R&B and hip-hop production, Bedingfield pulls off a song brimming with enthusiasm, particularly from her magnetic voice.
These words are my own. From my heart flow.
It came from a place of frustration, as she was struggling to find the right words for the song, so she took it back to basics, and ended up with a #1 hit in the UK. These Words remains one of the most infectious songs of the 2000s, and that's no hyperbole.
Love you, is that okay?
Number 8, Crush, Mandy Moore. While she might not have had as many hits as Britney or Christina, Mandy Moore still impressed as a teen pop idol.
You know everything that I'm afraid of.
And her crowning achievement is Crush, a sweet song about falling for someone and the butterflies in your stomach. Moore is infatuated with the person, and it seems she's trying to work up the nerves to tell him, or anyone. Her tender vocals and the song's earnest vibes make this a wholesome pop song, but not an empty one. It simply acknowledges the universal feeling of really, really liking someone and hoping they feel the same. Needless to say, we have a crush on this song. Number 7, Someone to Call My Lover, Janet Jackson. After ruling the 80s and 90s, Janet Jackson started the 2000s with a bang. She dropped Doesn't Really Matter and All For You, both of which were #1 Hot 100 hits.
Back
While Someone to Call My Lover peaked at number 3, it's another chart topper in our eyes. And as is typical for Jackson, she makes it look easy. The track takes a simple concept, wanting someone to have and to hold, and presents it perfectly. The gorgeous production came from Jackson and frequent collaborators Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Add to that the singer's wonderful vocal performance, and the result is a song that makes us believe in love and hope again. Number 6, It's Been a While, Stained. The hardest part of healing can often be allowing yourself to move forward with a clean slate. This song makes that painfully clear. On It's Been a While, Stained vocalist Aaron Lewis sings about his many regrets and how he can't shake his negative feelings.
It's been a while since I could hold my head up high.
While he doesn't want to keep feeling this way, he isn't quite sure how to break out of it. It's not exactly a happy song, but there is a glimmer of hope to be found underneath the moody energy and grim lyrics. If it's been a while since you last heard this song, now's your chance to revisit it.
And it's been a while since I said I'm sorry.
Number 5, Days Go By, Dirty Vegas. While lots of house songs are great for dancing, this one from Dirty Vegas also manages to touch our hearts in a bittersweet way. And as good as this song is on its own, the best way to experience it is by watching the music video.
Here he goes again.
A man performs an exhaustive dance routine in hopes of reuniting with a lost love who left him over his dance obsession. We won't tell you how it ends, but we can say you will likely be moved. Not a day goes by that we're not in the mood to hear this song. Number 4, Woman, Wolfmother. Wolfmother knows how to make a rock song in a way few other modern bands are capable of. On Woman, the Australian hard rock band talks about one of the most common song topics, but manages to make it sound fresh through the energy alone. Inspired mainly by vocalist Andrew Stockdale's affection for the city of Sydney, Woman is a classic blast of rock. The guitar riffs, drum blasts, and vocal runs are all fighting for dominance and tying for first place. There's no time to slow down and stop the rockin', and that's just the way we like it.
You better listen to me. She's gonna set you free.
Number 3, American Boy, Estelle featuring Kanye West. All sorts of talented folks contributed to writing American Boy, including will.i.am, Kanye West, and John Legend. But the success of this song is driven by its star. British artist Estelle sings about a friendly guy from across the pond whom she hopes will show her the many wonders of his country.
Take me on a trip, I'd like to go someday. Take me to New York, I'd love to see LA.
In addition to her sultry but bouncy vocals, the song is boosted by smooth and funky production and a clever verse from West. Even if you're from America, this song should still fill you with a sense of wanderlust, eager to explore unfamiliar lands.
You'll be my American boy, my American boy.
Number 2, Ocean Avenue, Yellow Card. Memories are powerful things, as people and places can form permanent associations in our minds.
There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you.
Florida pop punkers Yellow Card understand this. On Ocean Avenue, the band talks about a longing that never quite goes away. Vocalist Ryan Key notably remembers the titular street and other formative Jacksonville places.
If I could find you now, things would get better.
You might have memories of listening to this song with a special someone during your teenage years, or maybe it reminds you of your hometown and the landmark spots that shaped you growing up. While life changes fast, we'll always be grateful for songs like these that let us remember. Number 1, Take Me Out, Franz Ferdinand. Lots of bands have vocals, guitar, bass, and drums, but few are able to utilize them with as much creativity as Franz Ferdinand did here.
So if you're lonely, you know I'm here waiting for you.
On Take Me Out, the band delivers a hit that's funky not only in a rhythmic sense, but also in an unconventional one. Addressing the uncertainty that comes with wanting to take a romantic leap, the song makes you think you know where it's going, only to switch lanes.
You say you don't know, I say, take me out.
However, the melody and rhythm make the track's eccentricities feel delightful. Lead singer Alex Kapranos' bold vocals, the irresistible guitar licks, and the stomping of the drums ensure that this song will never go out of style.
Alright, TV fans, I didn't forget about you, because it's time to jump back in the old nostalgia train and revisit some of the best sitcoms that the 2000s had to offer. Enjoy.
My name is Malcolm. You want to know what the best thing about childhood is? At some point, it stops.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 TV sitcoms of the 2000s.
It doesn't matter anyway, it's about the music, not about the way you look.
Oh, maybe in the 70s, guys, but come on, get up with the 90s.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best live-action situational comedies that premiered between 2000 and 2009. So our apologies to that 70s show, but you were a couple of years too early to make the cut.
Uh-oh.
Number 20, 2.5 Men. After Alan Harper splits from his wife, he moves in with his freewheeling bachelor brother Charlie. In tow is Alan's son Jake. While this initially cramps Charlie's style, eventually they learn to live together despite their differences.
Your mom is my grandma.
Yep.
Grandma says you're a bitter disappointment.
The show ran for over a decade and never ran out of steam despite some of the main cast's departures. We got to see the 2.5 Men evolve into 3 grown men throughout the series, and it's not every day you get to see a show continue successfully after killing off their main character.
I know this is a very sad day for all of us.
Speak for yourself.
Whether it was Charlie Sheen or Ashton Kutcher at the helm, this sitcom had us in stitches from beginning to end.
Look, I appreciate the pep talk, but I've lost all hope.
Well, I can't give you hope, but I can give you my American Express Black Card.
Hope's for losers.
Number 19, 8 Simple Rules. When Kate Hennessy takes on a job as a full-time nurse, her overprotective husband Paul is left at home in charge of the kids. But he quickly realizes that he's not well equipped to deal with teenagers.
How did Rory get rolled up in a carpet?
They put me in it for spying on them.
You would not believe him. You did little
I don't want to hear it. Just get down here and unfurl your brother.
This is another show that had to improvise due to the loss of a main cast member after John Ritter tragically passed in the middle of the series, and the show was left without its patriarch.
Rory, will you please not keep your shoes on the stairs?
Those are Dad's.
David Spade and James Garner stepped in as the father figures, but no matter who was in the cast throughout its 3-year run, 8 Simple Rules always managed to stay hilarious, relatable, and heartfelt.
All right, Scooch.
What do you think you're doing?
I'm going to bed.
Oh, not here, you're not.
It's okay, Grandpa. I'm wearing underpants this time.
Well, I'm not.
Number 18, Flight of the Conchords. Based on the real-life comedy duo Jermaine Clement and Brett McKenzie, Flight of the Conchords only got 2 seasons, but what glorious seasons they were.
Your beard is good. It's just a compliment for you, your beard. Just a compliment about your beard being good.
Oh, thank you.
And also I have another one here. You're good at finding shortcuts around this part of town.
Oh, I appreciate that.
This unconventional show focuses on 2 former shepherds from New Zealand who moved to New York to work as musicians. They're helped and hindered by their incompetent part-time band manager Murray, played by Rhys Darby.
Who were those guys that you were dissing? The only one I could make out was Snoopy. What's your problem with him?
No, Snoop Dogg.
I know he's a dog, Brett. I'm not totally in the dark ages. I do go out once in a while.
The show's humor is brilliantly dry, and each episode features hilarious songs courtesy of Clement and Mackenzie. These musical moments have become iconic, and they helped set this sitcom apart.
Standing in the sitting room, totally skint, and your favorite jersey is covered in lint. You want to sit down, but you've sold your chair, so you just stand there.
Number 17, Rules of Engagement. This 100-episode strong sitcom centers around a group of friends as they try to maneuver through a variety of romantic relationships.
Actually, we have a private room in which you can produce the sample.
By myself.
Yes. The moment you've been practicing for all these years.
The show focuses on Jeff and Audrey, who have been married for years, young engaged couple Adam and Jennifer, and their single womanizing friend Russell. Patrick Warburton is predictably hilarious as Jeff, and David Spade steals the show as Russell.
I do what I want, I date who I want, and I sleep with whoever will let me.
Even though Rules of Engagement didn't sit well with critics, the cast and crew have their loyal fan base to thank for keeping the show on our TV screens for 7 seasons. Number 16, Reba.
Time for you and me to face reality. You're gonna have to schedule your life around football, and I'm gonna have to learn how to get my own ice.
Country singer Reba McEntire carried this comedy for 6 years, earning the show consistently high viewership and ratings. The sitcom revolves around sarcastic single mother Reba Hart, the matriarch of a family that's falling apart. She's the only one that can keep it together. All in one day, she learns that her teenage daughter is pregnant along with her husband's mistress, and that's just the start of her troubles.
You can get pregnant the first time you have sex, most days of the month, standing up, sitting down, and in a hotel hot tub.
Audiences loved seeing Reba navigate these unexpected turns with humor and grace, not to mention gentle hands and the heart of a fighter.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Oh, this is a wedding! You're ruining it!
Number 15, Party Down.
All right, come on, let's hear it. Hey!
Yes? I'd rather not.
Are we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet? Are we having fun yet?
Party Down may have only lasted 2 seasons, but this is a classic example of quality over quantity. The multifaceted sitcom is about a group of caterers in LA who come from different backgrounds in the entertainment industry as writers, actors, and models. While some have failed at their craft, others are still waiting for their big break. Each episode is named after an event they cater, and all of the characters deal with their day-to-day struggles in their own unique way.
This is the home of Cole Landry, and it's draft day, when all his dreams come true.
Wait, what dude's dream is get sent to Afghanistan?
Even though the show has been over for a number of years, there is a revival limited series on the horizon, and we can't wait to see what the characters are up to now.
Yes! You walk into that room and you seduce them.
Number 14, The IT Crowd. We love a good workplace sitcom, and this British show about a group of coworkers in the IT department is among the best.
Did you and her hit it off?
Define hit it off?
Did she continue talking to you once she'd fixed her computer?
No.
Roy and Maurice are underappreciated nerds who deal out hilarious quips as they work to keep the business running, hidden away in the company's basement. Their manager, Jen, is completely computer illiterate with no idea what she's doing.
Clicking, double clicking, the computer screen, of course, the keyboard, the bit that goes on the floor down there.
The hard drive?
Correct.
Uh-huh. Well, you certainly seem to know your stuff.
The series was praised by real information technology workers for its accuracy, but the IT Crowd still unfortunately came to an end after 4 seasons. The show was so beloved that several adaptations have been attempted, and there was even an American version starring Joel McHale that was filmed but never aired.
My God. Wow, it feels like it just ended. It was so boring.
Number 13, Parks and Recreation. Even though this show took a season or 2 to find its footing, once it did, it was unstoppable. Set in the fictional town of Pawnee in Indiana, the mockumentary is a political satire about the local parks department. Leslie Knope's passion for improving her town is the driving force of the show, as her idealism encounters obstacle after obstacle.
There's nothing we can't do if we work hard, never sleep, and shirk all other responsibilities in our lives. You with me?
Full of hilarious characters who were perfectly cast, this show only got better and better as it went on. To this day, Parks and Recreation is still one of the best shows to portray government and politics in a humorous and relatable way.
That idea is literally the greatest idea I have ever heard in my life. That idea is terrible.
Number 12, Everybody Hates Chris. Some of our favorite shows are inspired by real life, and Everybody Hates Chris is a textbook example.
My mother hated raggedy. She always said it's better to be poor and neat than rich and raggedy. I think she said that because we were poor.
Co-created and narrated by Chris Rock, this series was based on his upbringing in predominantly white schools. Still managing to elicit chuckles as it navigated important topics, it was beloved by fans and critics alike.
If you don't go to school, you go to work.
But what kind of job is he supposed to get with the 10th grade education?
I don't know. Ask George Bush.
While it was only around for 4 years, Rock City felt the show had come to a natural conclusion, with young Chris dropping out of school, which would eventually lead him into stand-up comedy. But there are plans to reboot it in the form of a cartoon, and we'll be anxiously waiting for its return. Number 11, Community. Based on creator Dan Harmon's college experience, Community tells the story of lawyer-turned-student Jeff Winger. He forms a study group at Greendale Community College in an attempt to get closer to Britta, who invites some other misfit students to join.
Britta invited me, is that cool?
Oh, I can't think of a single logical reason why not.
Cool.
There you go. Cool. Oh, hey, here, put your contact info down right there. That's great.
Cool.
The eclectic group grows close over their time at the college, and the rest of the series follows the gang as they try to find where they fit in. Community has gained cult status over the years and been recognized for its clever writing and charming cast.
Because the real bugs aren't the ones in those beds. And there's no such thing as a free Caesar salad. And even if there were, the Cape still might find a second life on cable.
Recently, there's even been talk of making a film based on the sitcom, and we have our fingers crossed as we think that would be cool. Cool.
The show's gonna last 3 weeks!
6 seasons and a movie!
Number 10, Scrubs.
I'm Elliot.
Elliot.
Yeah, don't do that.
Usually medical TV shows aren't particularly comedic, but Scrubs decided to break that mold. Throughout the show, we get to see JD, Turk, and Elliot grow up professionally and personally.
And sometimes it's easier to hide and explain our guy love. That's all it is. Guy love. He's mine, I'm his.
Scrubs was groundbreaking in its storytelling, revealing more about its characters through voice and even musical numbers. With humor, it was able to tell challenging stories in a lighthearted way. This sitcom had a way of making viewers feel like they were casually hanging out with friends, and the one-liners made us laugh out loud every single episode.
Great job, Sonny. You said your line perfectly.
Thanks, I worked on it.
I knew it would set you off. Good night, best friend.
Number 9, Malcolm in the Middle. What's it like being a genius in a family of dimwits? Malcolm Wilkerson can tell you all about it, and he does through 7 hilarious seasons on Malcolm in the Middle.
I got accepted into Harvard. We don't know how we're gonna pay for it, but we've gotta find a way. It's my dream school. It's 2,000 miles away from Mom.
Malcolm is raised by eternally angry Lois and lovable goofball Hal, along with his 3 brothers. A young Frankie Muniz shines as the reluctant nerd, and watching him navigate school and his dysfunctional family is always comical.
Around here, being smart is exactly like being radioactive.
It's no wonder this show was nominated for an Emmy over 30 times. Sunday nights were always a little more fun when we got to see the Wilkersons on our screens.
I am the victim here. Those are my hopes and dreams you're scrubbing out of your crack.
Number 8, 30 Rock. Some of the best sitcoms are inspired by the creators' real-life experiences, and this show is a perfect case in point.
Excuse me, Mr. Weinerslav.
It's pronounced Wiener Slave.
Okay, Jeffrey. Is there anything I can do to speed this process up so I can just get back to work?
Tina Fey stars as Liz Lemon, head writer and showrunner for a sketch comedy show produced at 30 Rockefeller Plaza. The plot mirrors Fey's own experience as the head writer on Saturday Night Live, as she deals with larger-than-life personalities and the unpredictability involved in working on a TV show.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you on some subconscious level seeing this as me toying with your manhood?
Of course I am. I invented that.
30 Rock features an all-star cast with Alec Baldwin as Lemon's boss and Tracy Morgan as the star of the show.
I don't need to read it. The whole thing is loosely based on the evening I spent with Isaiah Thomas.
During the sitcom's 7-year run, the satirical look at life in NBC studios left an indelible mark on the small screen. Number 7, The Big Bang Theory. From the creators of 2.5 Men, The Big Bang Theory put nerds front and center. The show follows friends and physicists, Leonard, Sheldon, and Raj, engineer Howard, and aspiring actress Penny. The boys share geeky interests, but struggle with everyday social engagement.
Yo, Raj, talk to me. Sorry, just screwing with
with you.
The characters grow up a lot throughout the show's run, coming into their own professionally and in their relationships. While The Big Bang Theory started off low in the ratings, it became a massive hit that ran for over a decade, and even inspired a surge of real-life college students pursuing physics.
Physics encompasses the entire universe, from quantum particles to supernovas, from spinning electrons to spinning galaxies.
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't need the PBS special.
Number 6, Modern Family. We dare you to get through an episode of this hilarious mockumentary-style sitcom without cracking up or shedding a tear.
You know what's ironic? You come over here complaining, yet I have never once said a word about that obnoxious parrot of yours that's always squawking.
Parrot?
What parrot? Yay! Yay! Yay!
Modern Family centers around Jay Pritchett's family, including his young wife Gloria and her son Manny. Jay's daughter Claire and her husband Phil navigate life with their 3 kids, while Claire's brother Mitchell and his partner Cam raise their adopted daughter Lily.
Come into my house and you insult me and my boyfriend, who, by the way, is not that dramatic. And oh God.
The show tackles issues like divorce, health, adoption, gay rights, and unplanned pregnancy through the eyes of an average extended family in the modern world. The show consistently garnered millions of viewers and has been nominated for 80 Primetime Emmys and 12 Golden Globes, showing that it's universally loved by fans and critics alike.
Apparently, we are in very high demand.
Number 5, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Set in an Irish pub in Philly, this sitcom follows friends Charlie, Mac, and Dennis as the co-owners of Patty's. Their gang also includes Sweet Dee, who waitresses at the pub, and Frank, their reluctant father figure.
That is not my future. I'm not gonna be buried in a grave. When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash.
The owners, staff, and customers at Patty's are all flawed and dealing with their own problems, including substance abuse and mental illnesses. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia deals out both laughs and tears, and is one of the few shows on this list that's still airing. It's also the longest-running comedy on cable TV, proving that it is truly deserving of a spot in our top 5.
Oh, what, you thought we'd gone?
You'd like that, wouldn't you? We ain't going anywhere.
Number 4, How I Met Your Mother. The year after Friends came to an end, we were introduced to another sitcom about 20-something friends living in New York.
Kids, I'm gonna tell you an incredible story. The story of how I met your mother.
In 2030, Ted Mosby tells his kids the story of how he met their mother years earlier. Throughout the show's 9 seasons, Ted searches for his true love. And through it all, he has Marshall, Lily, Robin, and Barney by his side.
You just kiss her. Not if you don't get the signal. Did Marshall give me the signal?
No! I didn't, I swear.
All of the characters struggle with relationships, careers, and friendships, making the show relatable and humorous for everyone who survived their 20s. Even though it ended with a controversial finale, we're sure this show will be considered one of the best for years to come. Number 3, Arrested Development. Jason Bateman takes center stage as Michael Bluth, who's trying to keep his quirky family together after their father's arrest.
There's $250,000 lining the walls of the banana stand.
What?
Cash, Michael.
Why didn't you tell me that?
How much clearer can I say? There's always money in the banana stand! No touching! No touching!
Throughout the show, we see the conflicting personalities in the Bluth family as they try to adjust to their new lifestyle. Although Michael is clearly the logical choice to handle the family's wealth, he battles with his snobbish and ignorant family to do so.
I want to cry so bad, but I don't think I can spare the moisture.
Despite the fact that Arrested Development was received well by critics, low viewership led to a premature cancellation after 3 seasons. Netflix brought the show back to life in 2013 and finally gave viewers the closure they needed. This showed the world that canceling the show was, as Job would say,
I've made a huge mistake.
Number 2, Curb Your Enthusiasm. After the end of Seinfeld, fans were craving more of Larry David's humor, and Curb Your Enthusiasm was just the show to satisfy this.
We have a policy in this office that you are seen as you sign in. That's
What is it like a bakery? You pick a number and the first number
yes,
goes?
Basically it's first come, first
So
served.
why don't you just have a little ticket? We can all take numbers instead of even. Why do you even give out the appointments? You don't even need appointments.
Based on a fictional version of the Seinfeld co-creator, Larry David plays a narcissistic, semi-retired screenwriter. The show follows the everyday woes of his life with his wife, played by Cheryl Hines, and his best friend, played by Jeff Garlin, in what is essentially another show about nothing.
You can't control who pops in. She pops in.
She pops in? Well, why did you pop her out?
I tried popping her out. She wouldn't pop out.
Well, she insisted on staying?
The main purpose of a sitcom is to make us laugh, and Curb Your Enthusiasm has done exactly that for 11 seasons and counting, proving that it is indeed one of the best of all time.
Thank you, by the way. God bless you. Wow.
Number 1, The Office.
Yes, hello. This is Michael Scott. I am the regional manager of Dunder Mifflin Paper Products. Just wanted to talk to you, manager.
The original British version of this show was also a great candidate for this list. But with apologies to Ricky Gervais, we have to give the top spot to our friends at Dunder Mifflin.
What?
I still love that after 7 years.
The eccentric Michael Scott manages a run-of-the-mill paper company in Pennsylvania, overseeing characters who are all too familiar to anyone in the workforce. Since their debut in 2005, they've all become iconic, from Jim Halpert to Dwight Schrute.
What kind of bear is best?
That's a ridiculous question.
False. Black bear.
Well, that's debatable. There are basically two schools of thought.
Fact. Bears eat beets.
Oh.
Bears. Beets. Battlestar Galactica.
The romance between Jim and Pam still feels just as real, and the evolution of Michael Scott's character remains a compelling watch. Without a doubt, The Office is the best sitcom of the 2000s.
I think that pretty much sums it up.
As we've been going through these videos, you've probably seen many familiar faces from the past and thought to yourself, well, I wonder what they're doing nowadays. Well, wonder no more, because as always, MsMojo's got us covered.
Whatever happened to that guy? Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 2000 stars. Where are they now? For this list, we're looking at 10 actors who were quite popular throughout the 2000s and seeing what they've been up to in recent years. Number 10, Chad Michael Murray.
Then what is the difference?
The difference? The difference is I love you, Brooke.
Chad Michael Murray was the teen heartthrob of the 2000s, even though he wasn't a teenager himself. He's of course known for playing Lucas in One Tree Hill, but he also had quite a significant movie career, starring in Freaky Friday, A Cinderella Story, and House of Wax.
You clean shit for a living, Mr. Septic Tank Man. What's the difference?
Unlike many of his One Tree Hill co-stars, Chad has remained active in the TV scene, as he has enjoyed major roles in shows like Chosen, Sun Records, and Agent Carter, where he portrayed SSR agent Jack Thompson.
Please, just get on this flight with me.
As of 2018, Murray has a recurring role on Star, playing Xander McPherson.
Why are you trying to be somebody you're not, Cass? You're a thug. A cold-blooded killer.
Number 9, Julia Stiles.
Do you even know my name, Screwboy?
I know a lot more than you think.
Whatever happened to Julia Stiles? Well, her career took off when she starred opposite Heath Ledger in 10 Things I Hate About You, and she subsequently appeared in State and Maine and Save the Last Dance.
Steps ain't no square dance.
That's alright, I dance in circles, probably around you.
She then became more of a supporting star rather than a leading lady, as she focused on the Bourne series and played a supporting role in Silver Linings Playbook.
What's wrong?
I hacked the agency for Christian Desault.
While her movie career has slowed down, she recently starred in Sky's Riviera, which was renewed for a second season after becoming the network's most successful original program.
What if this wasn't an accident?
Number 8, Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm just Harry.
Harry Potter's big screen avatar owned the decade for fairly obvious reasons. While Radcliffe faced unbelievable pressure and fame throughout his teenage years, he turned out to be an intelligent and respectable man. He continues to act, albeit with a focus on more independent movies like Swiss Army Man and Imperium, while easily overcoming any child actor stigma.
I'm trying to remember. What is home?
Radcliffe is set to star in the comedy Miracle Workers in 2019 and has proven to have undeniable passion for acting in film, as he certainly isn't in it for the money.
Yeah, you stole our files for the show, then obviously hypnotized us. No, seriously,
The strobe was a combo of binaural beats as well as...
No, I said stop! You might not be having fun, but I am.
Number 7, Elijah Wood. While Elijah Wood was a successful child and teen actor, he attained worldwide fame as Frodo in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I will take the ring to Mordor.
He then appeared in more dramatic movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, and lent his voice to Spyro the Dragon and the Happy Feet series.
It's just one big old foot after the other. That's it.
Wood has continued trucking, recently starring in TV shows like Wilfred and Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
You're right. Huh? When we get back in the morning, we'll solve the murder of Patrick Spring, save Lydia, and figure out whatever the hell that thing is.
He also co-founded a movie production company called Spectre Vision, which produced the surprise Nicolas Cage hit, Mandy. This is one child actor who turned out all right. Number 6, Frankie Muniz. Frankie Muniz was one of the hottest child actors of the 2000s.
You want a strike? I'll give you a strike! Here's your damn strike!
Best known as the titular Malcolm in the Middle, Muniz also starred in a few movies like Big Fat Liar and Agent Cody Banks.
It's showtime.
But has seemingly left acting behind him, aside from Sharknado 3, for some reason.
The data on Washington is still coming in.
Great, send it over.
Who are you talking to?
Intel on its way.
Nova and I made a pact that we wouldn't tell anybody where we get our top
I have
secret
some
information.
connections over at the NWS.
Muniz spent many of his post-Malcolm years competing professionally in open-wheel racing, while also performing music, and today manages a band called Astro Lasso. In 2017, he placed third on Dancing with the Stars, where he also revealed that he has suffered some extreme memory loss due to a pair of mini strokes. Number 5, Jonathan Lipnicki.
Uncle Crenshaw!
You knew him best as that adorable kid from the Stuart Little movies, The Little Vampire and Like Mike.
Make me like Mike.
And while Lipnicki continues to act, he has primarily appeared in short films, direct-to-video releases, and small roles in TV shows.
Yeah, you know, little known fact, I've actually done more work as an adult than I did as a kid, and I just kind of passed that threshold. And
His primary passion seems to be jiu-jitsu, earning a purple belt in the sport, and fighting in various mixed martial arts competitions. His family also owns a promotion company called Fight Sports Entertainment, and Lipnicki helps his mother promote fighters for amateur shows. Also, the dude is jacked, and that's something we were definitely not expecting.
You only played one character in everything you do. You're a one-trick pony that they turned into glue. I'm the total package. You're below average. Call me Corey Matthews, cause you just been savage.
Number 4, Taylor Lautner. Taylor Lautner is an actor known more for his muscles than his acting abilities. Lautner appeared in kids' movies like Cheaper by the Dozen 2 and The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, before being cast as the sultry Jacob in the Twilight series.
You feel something else for me. You just won't admit it. So I'm not giving up.
Since that time, Lautner has seemingly made friends with Adam Sandler, as he appeared alongside him in Grown Ups 2 and Netflix's The Ridiculous Six.
Go, dang!
He's also flourishing on television, as he appeared in Scream Queens and currently stars in Cuckoo. And yes, he's just as dreamy as ever.
It also says here, unspecified skill.
Oh yeah, right. It's this.
Number 3, Misha Barton.
You guys are all leaving. I'm gonna be stuck here alone. I need a new life.
While Misha Barton appeared in numerous movies throughout the 90s, she achieved mainstream success by playing Marissa Cooper in The OC. She's subsequently appeared in literally dozens of movies, although many are independent films that haven't always found the widest of audiences.
I need to keep walking alone.
Robin, please, I can't lose you.
Trust me.
In 2016, she appeared as a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, although her dancing wasn't quite enough to keep her in the competition, and she was the second celebrity to be eliminated. Her OC co-star Ben McKenzie, meanwhile, has done quite well for himself, as he landed the role of Jim Gordon on Gotham.
I'm good. A few bruises. What?
Number 2, Abigail Breslin.
There's a monster outside my room. Can I have a glass of water?
We watched Abigail Breslin grow up right before our eyes, from Signs when she was just 5 years old to being wowed by her surprisingly mature performance in Little Miss Sunshine when she was 10.
I'd like to dedicate this to my grandpa, who showed me these moves.
She subsequently starred in numerous movies throughout the 2000s and 2010s, including everyone's favorite, Zombieland.
Where are you gonna go?
I'm going to Pacific Playland! Woo!
She recently played Libby Putney throughout both seasons of Scream Queens and portrayed Baby in the made-for-TV remake of Dirty Dancing. She's currently scheduled to reprise her role as Little Rock in Zombieland 2, which begins production in January of 2019. Number 1. Haley Joel Osment.
I see dead people.
Osment rolled into the new millennium riding the success of The Sixth Sense, and kept the momentum going with movies like Pay It Forward and AI Artificial Intelligence.
Now make a wish. It came true already.
And then he just kinda disappeared. He's continued to act mostly in independent films released via video on demand.
You can make this happen. You're Charlie Brenner.
I think that's the problem.
That said, things may be looking up. In 2018, he appeared in an episode of The X-Files and is set to play Detective Jerry Thompson in the Ted Bundy biopic, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile.
You're Walter Skinner.
That's right.
Father sure talks a lot about you.
Shockingly Vile title aside, hopefully it's the movie to rejuvenate Osment's once brilliant career.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this special trip back in time. Hope you enjoyed this very sweet look back at the 2000s. I've been Matt from MsMojo. I'll see you peeps next time.